Hello, I'm Record Sports Andy Newport. I'm joined by Scott McDermott. We've just been inside, Scott, to see Russell Martin hold his pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow night's Premier Sports Cup quarter-final against Hibs. It's a big game for him, obviously, with everything that's going on this week. Led to believe there's going to be some supporter protests outside before the game. Andrew Kavanagh, the club owner, has flown back in, especially to deal with the brewing crisis. What did you make of what Russell Martin had to say?
Look, he spoke well, Andy. I think you need to say he's obviously under massive pressure, under fire, getting criticism, flack every day. Can't be easy for him. But I think he's always spoken well, hasn't he, at press conferences, irrespective of the circumstances. The bottom line is, though, I don't know what you thought, but just listening to it, as I say, spoke well. It's not a criticism of him, but none of it really matters anymore until Rangers start winning games. I mean, listen, he's got to do these press conferences before every game. Must be tough for him, as I say. I thought he was fairly relaxed, but winning games is all that matters. Now, the fans have had enough. We've reported on it now for the last few weeks. As you say, there'll be protests outside the ground. They have made their minds up on the manager. I mean, it's unequivocal. They want him out. That's the position Russell Martin finds himself in. So he can talk all he wants, he can say whatever he likes. None of it matters until Rangers start winning football games. And it feels like we've said it every week. No, a must-win game, must-win game. It feels like this one really is a must-win game, probably because it's a cup tie. The thought of Rangers going out in the League Cup, the quarter-final stage, and being 10th in the league by mid-September would have been unthinkable for Rangers fans. So with Andrew Kavanagh being here, protests planned, a cup quarter-final, really, I mean, he really has to win. This team need to produce a performance and a result on Saturday. It doesn't really matter how they get it.
I mean, it's obviously been a really bruising week for him. I mean, he's getting flack left, right, centre. I mean, even he takes the team out for a bit of bonding. We hike up Conic Hill, a wee dip in Loch Lomond, and even he gets it in the neck for that. I mean, what did you make of his mood today? Did he look like a guy who was sort of downcast and had been sort of beaten up by last week, or did you see a bit of defiance from him?
Definitely a bit of defiance. I thought he looked well.
I mean, he did speak about how
he said he was ill last week, so that maybe explains his demeanour last week as well as everything else going around. But no, I thought he looked fairly relaxed today. Look, the Rangers board, we've obviously, you speak to people at Rangers in the last week, and it seems like they are still fully behind them. Whether that be the ownership or the executive at the club, Kevin Thelwell, Patrick Stewart. Now, that may change come tomorrow night after this quarter-final. If it's another bad defeat, if the fans are even more vociferous, as if that's possible after last weekend's defeat at Hearts, then the mood might change behind the scenes. But he doesn't look like a guy that's feeling the pressure at the moment. He looks like a guy that feels pretty safe in his job despite these results. But the proof will be in the pudding. In terms of the whole Conic Hill thing, I thought he spoke about it well. I'm not saying he didn't play it down, but he was relaxed about it. He knew it would get headlines. He basically admitted that whatever he does at the moment is not really going to wash, but he felt it was necessary just to do something different. I said during the week on your podcast and Hotline Live, I didn't mind it. I don't mind managers trying different things, but the one thing it did show was just how desperate he is to try and turn this around. He's literally willing to try anything. How the players felt about it, I'm not sure. We spoke to Liam Kelly in there, obviously he said he enjoyed it. I'm sure he did. Whether that will be the case for all of them, I'm not sure. It's maybe a wee bit of a kind of shock to the system for some of the new players or the foreign boys, but again, we'll find out on Saturday if it had the desired effect.
I was down at Air Races yesterday to speak to Alan Hutton. He was launching the Air Gold Cup, and he was saying that, if it was him and if he was in Russell Martin's shoes and he was watching the chairman fly back over for America for what we believed was a sort of unscheduled visit, although Russell Martin today asked him about it, said no, he's been in the diary for a couple of weeks, but he was saying he'd be concerned by that, the fact he's flying back in for this to see the game and to see for himself how angry and how dissatisfied that the fans are. I mean, we asked Russell Martin about that, as I said, and he kind of said, no, listen, I've still got the full support of the chairman of the Donalds, of Kevin Fairwell and Patrick Stewart, but if it was you, with everything else going on, sitting here, if you're in Russell Martin's shoes, with the fact the chairman's going to be here to see potentially thousands of fans stood inside the front door, to see Ibrox, 2/3 potentially empty, if the rumours are to be believed, would that worry you?
It would. I'd be concerned. As I say, he's put a kind of brave face on it and tried to kind of shrug that off, Andrew Kavanagh coming over. But no, I'd be worried, because it's okay Andrew Kavanagh being on the other side of the world and hearing or seeing fan unrest and talk of protests, and I don't think you can really fully appreciate it. Certainly what we experienced on Saturday at Ibrox in the Hearts game, I don't think you can really fully appreciate that unless you're in the stadium and you actually feel it. And Kavanagh's going to feel it this weekend, because he's going to see first of all, as you say, he's going to see we think probably a half-empty Ibrox for a cup game. Which is very unusual for a game of this magnitude. He's going to feel the protest when he turns up outside the stadium an hour and a half before the game. And also,
if the game doesn't go well, he's going to feel it, because even in Saturday, the Hearts game, when the first goal goes in with Lawrence Shankland, I turned around and looked at the director's box from our seat in the gantry, and there was already fingers getting pointed at the board. So I mean, he obviously he wasn't here for that game, but he'll be the one in the final line this time.
And also, on a basic level, it's a cup game. If Rangers go out, that's a chance to win a trophy gone. Most Rangers fans, I think quite rightly, believe the league title's over already, mid-September. So that's 2 of the trophies out of 3 could be gone effectively in the fans' eyes, certainly with the league, by Saturday night. That has to have an impact on Andrew Kavanagh and the board. It has to, because these guys, we were there when they came in, when the takeover went through. These guys want success and they want it pretty quickly. They accepted, I think, when they appointed Russell Martin, that everything wasn't going to be rosy right away. I think they knew it was going to take a wee bit of time. But could they have envisaged being 10th in the league? With Celtic and Hearts 9 points clear, and also been out the League Cup at the quarter-final stage? I don't think they would have expected that. I don't think they'd have predicted it. I think it'll be a big shock to them in terms of just how badly it's gone. And look, there's no getting away from it. Saturday, depending on the performance, the result, the fans, Saturday could be the final straw if it goes badly for Russell Martin. And that's why I go back to my point at the start. Nothing he says the day really matters. It's all about what happens in the pitch on Saturday.
In terms of positivity, there's very little going about Ibrox right now, but I suppose if you're a supporter, the news that Nico Raskin's back in the squad will come as a tick in the box.
Yeah.
But even just listening to Russell Martin, the way he spoke about him, saying there could be an opportunity for personal growth for Nico Raskin. I mean, did you buy into that? For me, it just sounded like, he realised he's in a hole and he needs him back, because it's the longer he's out the team, it's just another thing for the punters to beat people over the head with.
Well, look, Nico Raskin isn't a finished article as a player, but he's a Belgian international, so I don't know how much kind of growth short term there is for him. I'm no surprised, Andy. I don't know about you. I even thought last week when Russell Martin told us that he wouldn't be involved in the Hearts game, I just had a feeling that there would be this kind of almost like 1 week punishment. He misses a game for whatever's happened behind the scenes. Russell Martin had to be seen to kind of almost put his foot down and leaving Raskin out the squad. Obviously the result against Hearts was went against him, which just amplifies everything. And when we've seen the pictures of Raskin being involved in the kind of day out at Loch Lomond, and the fact that he was there, and I know most of them were there, if not all of them, but the fact that he was there and part of it, I just had a feeling that he was going to be back in the squad, and I think he'll be back in the team as well.
So do I, because I just think, as I said, if the result goes south at the weekend and he's sort of cut his nose off to spite his own face and left him out again. It's just another thing for the fans to clobber over the head with, and you know, it just adds to the ammunition they have in terms of getting rid of him.
But the midfield, aside from anything else, the midfield is miles off it. I mean, well, the midfield did okay against Celtic. You know, Connor Barron, Diomande, Asgard. But it was more in a kind of destructive sense. It was more about stopping Celtic playing. No, there wasn't much creativity there. I don't think there was too much control in the game. At the weekend against Hearts, you know, the midfield was so poor. Hearts were far better in that department. So, no, it's maybe unkind to the boys that are already in there. But Raskin, you know, on his day is an upgrade on that. So, as I say, I think he would have served his punishment. So the manager was obviously quick to point out that he was back, he trained well. So if you've got a guy like that who's kind of, you know, did his week away but has trained well and is looking good, then you have him in the team. I think he starts undoubtedly. I'd be amazed if he's on the bench.
And finally, I'm going to ask you the big one. Ask you for your prediction for tomorrow, because I've just had to do it for the paper and you've dodged that one. So your prediction for tomorrow?
Oh, I find it hard to see how Rangers get a result. I think it's incredible that Rangers, with the bookies, are still favourites for this game. I know it's Rangers at Ibrox and listen, Hibs aren't perfect. I mean, I think Hibs are really strong going forward, but there's still deficiencies there at the back, which Rangers at home should be looking to exploit. But just given the circumstances, the pressure the manager's under, what we witnessed and experienced last week against Hearts, fans are going to be at it again. I'm struggling to make a case for Rangers to win the game. I think Hibs, with the likes of Bowie and Boyle and guys like that up front, are going to cause them real problems. But the flip side of that is Raskin being back is a positive. I think Russell Martin will change the team, and just that desperate. I mean, it feels as if I've said it every week, but he has to win the game. So I'm going to sit the fence. I'm going to say it'll be a draw, and it'll go to extra time, maybe even penalties, and who wins that? Who knows?
Well, hopefully we'll see a braver display from one of the teams that we've just seen from Scott here.
Rangers to win it, you know.
So you can see the game, you can keep up to date with everything going on at the game at Record Sport over the weekend, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Thank you.